Well, here we are at another space and time where there continues to be a lot of movement in the cosmos. And it just keeps moving. It keeps rolling. And that's how things are in life. Nothing stays the same. Every moment is new. This last, week, since the 23rd, has been intense. The solar flares that have been coming through, the X flares, the M flares, and even though we've had some massive ones today, there was like a triple monster burst. It wasn't directly at Earth. It went more towards the south of the planet. It was like the sun directed it more downward. It's still going to affect us. And the sun's activity has been the most intense that it's been since 1989. And we have had near record kinds of plasma emissions that go back to the 1800s, 1850s. So the universe is conspiring to create perhaps a different set of variables. And if we look around at what's been happening on the planet in the last week, there's been a lot. There's been many conversations. There's been lots of posturing and movements and invitations to things and then disinvites. And I'm not going to speak directly about anything. It's like, it's all out there. You can find it. But the bottom line of it all is that the chaos of the movements and conversations, and it is chaos because it's creating a lot of chaos on the earth, brings us into almost everything being pushed to be a little bit off balance. And I think that includes all of us as humans. Sleep. Some people, I'm sure, are sleeping just fine, and some are not. And the dreams continue to be vivid and lots and lots of different kinds of things happening for people, even in sleep states. So, the continued exposure that we have in the world to all kinds of things continues to be challenging our systems and our cellular beings to commit to what is it that we want to work with and work through. And reality, like Saturn is still at the end degrees of Pisces, and Saturn is reality. But in Pisces, it's like, how do you corral a section of ocean? You can't. And the water keeps moving, and it's never the same water in the corral. So it ends up being what feels like an exercise in futility and setting boundaries, and yet it's very parallel to everything keeps moving, and it's like, what are we sure about and what are we not sure about? Well, Saturn has a way of bringing realities for us that are very personal and very much applicable in our lives, and it shows us cosmic sort of parallel realities at different scales on the earth. And all of this is so energetic. Like the plasma coming from the sun is energetic. The things that are thrown into our atmosphere are energetic. And we are being affected as humans at the cellular level. And all of this is creating a shift in consciousness at varying perspectives and degrees for every human. So I just wanted to say that. Not new, but if you're feeling it, your body feels heavy and lethargic, you're sleeping a lot, a little bit of anxiousness or anxiety, or just, the eyebrows are down and it's like, like you can't quite put your finger on it, and yet things are moving, and it's not easy to just flow with the go. You have to keep your eyes forward and not bump into the things that are in the water that is also going along us. So we do our best to like keep moving with what we have. So today is January the 24th, and I'm doing this at almost 4 p.m. Sask time, CST for us here. And the aspects over the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days, the next week, is still about Pluto and about Saturn and Neptune. And everything has been moving through Pluto. I said that in my last video. We're not done yet. We're not done yet. The sun has now moved by Pluto, but Mars is coming right behind. And the other thing that keeps moving is the moon. So, Sunday, January the 25th, the moon is going to move into Taurus, and it's going to be making what's called a square, a tense aspect to Mars in Aquarius at the very, very beginnings of Aquarius, like very first degrees, while Mars continues to approach Pluto. And that's that kind of thing that you feel it in your body, you feel it in your bones, and yet there's a recognition that there's some tension. There might even be some angst coming through other people. People may be extra irritable. People might not be able to sleep well. People might be having very vivid and like challenging sort of dreams, or even like live waking moments with people. And I don't know that anyone intentionally tries to be a jerk, but this is that time where people just might be great big jerks and unable to repress what it is that is held within them. It could be the straw on the camel's back that breaks something open that has nothing to do with you, and yet there it is. And so we do our best to do our best, and it's a good week to just really be mindful, to be hydrated, and to be as present as you can, and to lean into your breath, because Mars and Pluto together tend to dig up a lot of physical, verbal, and when I say physical, like the energy ramps up in the body, and it's like an overloaded circuit that needs a grounding point, okay? It could look like that. It could feel like that. And with Mars in Aquarius, it's like, what comes to mind is that there's a TV program that used to be on cable, and it was about, doing a DNA test and finding out who your ancestors were. And the thing that's coming to mind is, who do you think you are? This aspect is going to test our reality of who we think we are, because Saturn and Neptune are still very much in the mix of this. So that's Sunday. And as Mars continues to approach Pluto, and the moon is moving through by, it'll be passing through Uranus. Who do you think you are? Our limits, our expectations, our grounding, our ability to be present in our bodies and still observant and mindful, maybe on lack of sleep, maybe on a lot of sleep, I don't know, is going to be our work to hold our center. On the 26th, Neptune moves into Aries. Hasn't been there for 165 years. Neptune did move into Aries last year between March 30th and October 22. So if you kind of revisit 2025, March 30th to October 2022, some of the themes that we had a preview to may be part of the current that we experience moving forward. Now, this isn't to create triggers and challenges, because I'll tell you, that period of time for me was gnarly. It was like literally one breath, one step, one moment at a time. And there was a lot of work that I had to do, and that needed to be done in concert with who this was happening with, like what was happening in our lives. We had to do a lot of soul work, a lot of excavation of our fears, our challenges, what we believed, what the truth was. Like reality shattering moments happened in my life last year. And I had choices. I could have put my head in the sand and just like kept going and everything's fine, everything's fine. Or I applied myself and really put myself into the space of embracing, having my eyes wide open, having the crucial conversations, navigating the challenges, the problems, the moments as they arose. Okay? So when Saturn is going, or Neptune is going into Aries, it's going there for the rest of our lifetime, for the next 165 years. And it's going to be bringing up themes of the potential opportunity for greater expansion of spirituality, of dreaming, of creativity, like literal dreaming, but also of like waking dreaming. And Neptune is water, and it's going into fire and Aries, the first sign of the zodiac, new beginnings. And everything that I walked last year brought me a sense of spiritual purification. Like that's literally what happened in many ways. And I'm not sorry for it. I'm grateful for every lesson that I had. So that happens on the 26th, and you'll be seeing the chart here of where that is. The 27th, the moon moves into Gemini. And by this point in time, between Neptune moving into Aries and the moon moving into Gemini, it will have crossed over Uranus and the last degrees of Taurus to move into Gemini. So it's making an aspect to Mars. So we could be receiving unexpected news. We could be talking about the things that have been happening. And, like these aspects all come into play around 5 p.m. SAS time. And that's also when Mars makes its exact conjunction with Pluto. So there's a lot of energy there. There's a lot of movement. There's a lot of kinetic electric activity. We'll be feeling it. We'll be maybe talking faster. We'll be maybe wanting to like really ground and shield ourselves. There's a lot of opportunities for a lot of different things. But the reality is you can expect more movement in the world, in people, in conversations, workplaces, outdoor events, whatever it may be. So again, breathe and ground and stay in your center to the best of your ability. And if your intuition says, I don't need to go there and do that, maybe that's a good thing to try and do. If your intuition says, I need to go there and do that, then maybe that's a good thing to do. The important part is to trust the navigation system that's given to us, because our cellular beings are being altered and shifted in every moment with all of these plasma flares that are coming to us. The 28th, we have the closeness of Mercury and Venus making a conjunction. But as they're looking back to Saturn. And this will be likely to create a sense of what motivates us to have the conversations that we need to have, and to find the people that we need to have those conversations with. It gives us an opportunity to mirror out what it is that we value and want to create, but the sharing of information and conversations helps to pull through more of those things. So though Saturn is in the end degrees of Pisces, it offers us an opportunity to dive into a different mental, emotional, creative stability that helps pull us through this raft ride that we're on in this week. On the 29th, Venus and Mercury are exactly conjunct, and they're at the place where they're looking at Neptune, and it's not an easy aspect. It is something that creates a tension that's palpable, but you can't quite get your finger on it. Again, it's just, there's something happening, there's something moving, and yet, is it real? Or is it something that's greater and spiritual, or is it an illusion of some kind? It may be hard to tell. The 30th and 31st, Jupiter and the moon will be making contact, and this will be in Cancer. And so this is where we might have that pull of like exploring conversations with family, home. Our emotions might feel a little bit bigger. It might be hard for us to like have clarity in what it is that we're looking for, wanting to explore, because Jupiter is still retrograde. So there might be some kind of review, topics about family and home that is happening. So this is both on the 30th and 31st. The moon moves quickly. It moves about 12 degrees in a 24-hour period. So on the 30th and 31st, it'll be zooming by Jupiter and then getting to the cusp of Leo, where it enters Leo. And here is where we have our full moon on February the 1st. So I'll be coming back to that point. But, you know, all of this is leading us to this crescendo of fullness, of view and of light and of intensity. And the full moon brings tides up. So like the water is rising. There's a lot moving around us. There's a lot that's moving beneath us that is rising. Pluto is continuing to bring us into initiation states as every planet is moving by it. And all of these planets are also going to be moving, you know, by Saturn and Neptune. So we're in a time that is so big. It's a time we've never seen before. And how it unfolds, it's a good question. But the best that we can do is to be aware of what is arising in us and doing our best to just hold that and be still with that, have conversations with those that we love and trust about that, but mostly just being a cosmic citizen and acting with as much grace and compassion as we can muster in the moment, understanding that other people are also having very, very big experiences at the same time. So we're in the soup together. I wish you a good week. I wish you the opportunity for expansion and growth and cultivation. I wish you the walk of initiation that we are continuing to walk, to be part of your soul's destiny, taking you to where you're meant to be. We're in it together. Blessings, friends. Take care.